Hi, my name is Isidro, respiratory therapist at Home Oxygen Company, and I wanted to make a video of the 3 styles of masks that are out there that you can choose from. A lot of folks have problems deciding which one would be best, so hopefully this video helps in guiding you to the right mask that's probably best for you. So there's 3 types of masks. There's a full face mask, there's a nasal mask, and then there's something that they call nasal pillows. So we'll start with the biggest one, go through each one individually, and hopefully this helps you decide which one's best for you. First one is the full face mask. So this is the AirFit F20. This is just used for demonstration purposes. It's got the full face mask here, the cushion. And what this is going to do is go over the bridge of the nose and cover the mouth. So this would be for your mouth breathers. If you have nasal issues, anything like that, like I do, I would have to go for a full face mask. A tip to know if you're a mouth breather or not, because a lot of folks don't know if they are, is if you go to sleep and you have to have a bottle of water next to you and you wake up and your mouth is just dry all the time, this would be probably the mask you'd probably end up going with, regardless if you try the nasal mask or not. Just because if you were to go with the nasal mask, you'd end up opening your mouth and all the pressure would come out of your mouth and the therapy would be ineffective at that point. So I've seen it many times where people don't want to go for the bigger mask, but eventually they have to, because it's just the only way to get the proper therapy that the doctor wants them to get. So full face mask is going to cover the nose and the mouth, and this is probably the biggest one you're going to see out there. The next one that we can look at is also a full face mask, but I want to give you a different option, because a lot of folks don't want to do the bridge over the bridge of the nose mask. This one is called the AirFit F30i. This one also has a connection that can go in the front here. So if you don't like the top of the head connection, this one also is considered a full face mask. I'll just kind of put it on my face to show you how it works. So instead of going over the bridge of the nose, this one's actually going to sit underneath the nose. So it's going to fit on just like this. So once it's on your face, you can breathe through your nose or mouth, just like the other one. And this is also considered a full face mask. So if a lot of patients of mine like to wear glasses before they go to sleep. So this is another option that I give them if they have to use a full face mask, to put their mask on and they'll read a book or something, whatever they like to do before bed. And but this gives you an option to wear glasses and not be so uncomfortable with that frame, or the cushion coming up on top of the bridge of the nose and kind of bothering your glasses. So I like to just call this one the under nose cushion full face mask. The next one is going to be the nasal mask. So this one here is going to be almost like a full face mask, but just for your nose. So this one here is the Wisp nasal mask. So just for demonstration purposes, again, we're using this one. So this mask will go over the nose just like this. So, and then you have your straps and stuff that go over the top of the head. But this also goes over the bridge of the nose. And this is a good mask. It just, a lot of people don't like that direct air pressure that goes into their nostrils. So they end up going with something like this that's a lot more comfortable for them. And just works better. So if you don't like if you feel like your nose is pretty sensitive and you think it might hurt you, because a lot of folks have sensitive nostrils, this is probably the better option for you when you're going to get a mask, just because if you do choose something different, it might hurt your nose inside and causes scabs and cuts, and then you end up going with something like this anyway. So this is a nasal mask. Just goes over the bridge of the nose, covers the nose like this, and works good. The next one is the smallest mask that we have. This one is called a nasal pillow, and they have different types of nasal pillows. They have one that goes under the nose and doesn't have these prongs that go in the nostril. But this one here is a really good mask that I give out a lot. This is for nasal breathers only. So again, like I said about the mouth breathers, if you wake up and your mouth is not dry, this is probably the mask for you if you don't like anything big and bulky. This thing just kind of goes in the nostril like this. It just plugs up each individual nostril. This head strap will go in the back. But this is a good mask. If you could tolerate the pressure that goes in the nostril, this is a good one. It's really simple. You put it on and off, and probably the easiest one that's out there to put on. Now, if you're trying to decide, like, if you're moving around a lot in bed, and you're a mouth breather, there's not really much you can do about that. You can try to go to something like this if you have to, if by default you're ending up with something big like this. This will move on you when you're sleeping, especially if you're a side sleeper. It tends to push away. So if my face is this way and I lay down on my right side, this mask will tend to push to the left. The only way to really correct that is to grab the mask while the straps are still on and you're laying on your side, is grab it, kind of pull it off your face like this while the straps are on, and then just reseat it on your face. So just like that. That tends to correct most of the problem, most of the leaking that happens whenever you do switch over to the side. A lot of people will have this mask. So that's one of the issues with the full face mask here is sometimes when you're a side sleeper, it might tend to push your mask over to the left or right. You could try tightening up the one side maybe to prevent it from going, but a lot of times it is going to have some sort of leak, which is fine, just as long as it's not too big to where you're not getting pressure effectively in your lungs. I wouldn't worry about it too much. This one here, the problems that you have with these masks here whenever you're a side sleeper is that when you do put it on and you tend to go to the side, the nose piece will actually kind of loosen up and kind of start leaking. It's not really the cheek part or the mouth part, it's more the nose. So if I lay on my side like this thing will tend to kind of push itself and then start leaking. If you are a side sleeper though, I would always recommend probably getting something like this instead of something like this, just because for some reason, I don't know why, this one just tends to leak more than this one I find when I speak to patients. So I would probably recommend something like this if you're a side sleeper than to get something like this. For the nasal masks, if you're a side sleeper with nasal masks or anything like that, it's not really that big of a deal. Most of them won't leak very much. The Wisp in particular is a good mask. It just, when you're on your side, like when you're sleeping and then you tend to go to the side, it'll move, but not as much as the full face mask, obviously, because it's just a smaller mask. So if you move around a lot though, and you're one of those folks that just goes left to right and tosses and turns all the time, I wouldn't even bother wearing something I wouldn't bother wearing something like this, because if you're tossing and turning and you're just one of those sleepers that just kind of goes from left to right all the time, like I said, this one tends to kind of slip off. But then I would go with something like this that's more secure, where you got the straps that you can strap on and then just hold it in. Those are the three masks that we give out. Those are the three masks that are your options. You have the full face. You have the full face under the nose cushion mask that covers the nose and mouth. You have your nasal mask that covers the nose, and you also have the nasal pillows. So hopefully this helped you in deciding which mask to get. And if you have any questions, you can always give us a call at Home Oxygen Company. And again, I'm Isidro, one of the respiratory therapists, and I'm here to help if you need me.